Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. It is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. I'm Andrew Hansen alongside Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. And thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going over Game 4 here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee looking to go up 3-1 after a surprising night last night, Coach, where the Clippers stayed alive with a convincing win on the road.
I'll tell you what, man, that caught us by surprise. We both were thinking, I think with most people, that this was the end of the road for the Clippers, but man, did they rise up and play tough. I was very impressed. Obviously, Paul George showed the superstar that he is. And then, the role guys were fantastic. My Morris captain pick looked great for the majority of the night, so that was really cool. But everything changed, like we said, Andrew, from when we did the podcast yesterday with Zubats being scratched.
What a massive change that was on both sides.
It was a domino, yeah.
I mean, I can't remember a game recently where there was that much of a domino effect for a starter, but not a star, missing the game. Because that changed the starting lineup for the Clippers. All of a sudden, Morris went to center. Both teams used different defenses, and that changed everything. So, you had a great call on Morris on DraftKings. You were ahead on the DraftKings big contest after three quarters, but it didn't work out in the fourth quarter. But
no,
that
I was screaming, "Stop the count!"
Right.
But it didn't work. Yeah. It was Brett had come over. Now that he's in Dallas, guy to get this tweaked again on our OBS stuff. So I hope everybody's enjoying this. Now that we have the scroll and everything, definitely let us know on YouTube what you think of it. Quality of the sound and audio, everything should be better. But he was here. We watched that second half, and I gave him my phone, and there it was. First, tied with a ton of people, but first out of 53,394. And I thought, okay. But the fourth quarter went south, as they say.
Baseball ended up better for us last night. You and Josh were awesome. We had some real nice returns on investment with baseball. So
that was awesome. Yeah, it was a fun night. I mean, we haven't, the last couple of nights hadn't been quite as hot as usual. But when you're winning and everything on all three sites, it's like, okay, this is going to work.
That's what we're going to try to do again tonight. So let's break down Game 4 here. Milwaukee had that solid win in Game 3 in Atlanta. The big news, of course, Trae Young turned his ankle on the referee's foot and came out with...
How weird is that, man?
That was...
Jeez.
It was unfortunate, although, before I saw the replay, I was worried that the ref had done something strange and he was going to feel bad, but really Trae just backed into him. So the ref... It wasn't his fault, just a freak backup move by Trae, but he went through shoot around this morning. We're recording this at lunchtime. Okongwu said he looks good. So I'm going to project him as playing, getting his normal minutes. I mean, he came back into the game after that and finished with 39 minutes. So you're going to break down Atlanta when we get there. But he obviously is the big turning point in this game with his injury. And if he doesn't play or is limited, that'll have even more of a domino effect than Zubats last night. But I'll get us going on the Milwaukee side here.
Okay.
And...
before you jump in, Andrew, let me throw you the lines.
Okay.
This is BetUS.com.pa, and here's the thing: I wanted to share both of these lines because we got some responses that some people are playing the 2-game slate that they offer now with 1 game tonight, 1 game tomorrow. So that's why I'll let you know both lines are up because that affects how you're going to build this half of the lineup. But for the showdown slate, you only need to worry about this line. And you want to take a stab? Since we'll make it like our golf pot. I'll give you a quiz. What do you think the Bucks are favored by?
I'm going to say 6.5.
Very close, 7. Okay. So you were right there. It's 218 on the over/under, and then tomorrow night's game, Suns and Clippers. Suns are favored by 1 on the road in LA, and it's 214.5. So only a 3.5 point difference in the over/under. So that shouldn't have a huge effect, but that at least gives everybody a level to start at. So they know what the numbers actually are. But hey, the way things have gone in these playoffs, those lines don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, that's right. So let's start with the big three on Milwaukee. I think on FanDuel, the question is, do you go all three of them and then go value, or two out of the three? That's the approach I'm taking. Giannis ended up being outscored by Middleton last game on FanDuel. So Middleton was the winning MVP. But we know that Middleton went 6 for 12 on threes, 15 of 26 from the field, just got real hot in the fourth quarter, and ended up 38 and 11 and 7, 42 minutes. Showed his potential, man.
He was unconscious.
He was
at the
on
end
fire.
Of that game.
He was in the zone. They kept feeding him, exactly what you want if you're a Milwaukee fan. So, assuming he doesn't go 6 for 12, I would lean towards Giannis as the highest scoring guy tonight.
Sure.
No big announcement there, but that's my general approach here. You like that he went 41 minutes, 6 for 13 at the line. He seemed to pick it up a tiny bit, Coach. He was right around 10 seconds instead of more like 12 or 13.
Oh my gosh, that counting was getting on my last nerve.
Yeah. So we'll see how Giannis rolls tonight. Drew Holiday is the X factor for me, because he's that third stud. He's a little cheaper than Middleton, so you can get a much different build if you go with him. But 2 for 11, got it done without the scoring in this last game. 12 assists, 4 stocks. So he's squarely in play for me, and it's just a matter of, playing with it and kind of. I think the way you need to do it is build your lineup with Giannis and Middleton, figure out your favorite three after that. Or if you go with Giannis and Drew Holiday, figure out, just mathematically do a projection of the group of three, which way you like it better. So he's in play for me. Lopez, I'm down on, 25 minutes, little pricey. I like the other guys in this mid tier today. PJ Tucker, more playable just because of the price. Solid 34 minutes. Portis, first guy I want to mention off the bench, and he was great for us in that last game. 17 minutes. Didn't it seem like he played more than that?
16 minutes and 31 seconds, and you talk about a guy taking advantage of every second on the court. Can you please explain to me why he doesn't play more?
I cannot. I would play him more than 17 minutes. I mean, Lopez, he gives you a different look with, strong three-point shooting. He can protect the rim well. But Portis is quicker. He's better defensively in this game where they need to defend all these skilled wings. And when he's out there, he's either scoring. He's 7 for 12, 15 points, put up 4 rebounds, or he's right in somebody's face ready to fight. So his energy is great. Maybe they need to take him out like they do just to keep him cool so he doesn't just go crazy and get in a fight, because he's right on the borderline, it seems, every game.
Yeah.
But I would play him a little bit more than that. I think he deserves it, and I think he matches up well defensively, better than Lopez. So he's in play for me. Connaughton was the other guy who got big minutes. He got 32 minutes.
I know.
And wasn't really involved offensively. He only took 3 shots, but we know he can bring in some different stats and make him the key value play. And then Forbes is really the only other guy who got minutes. He got 7 minutes. Hasn't done too much. He's only out there to generally shoot threes and not much else. But I am. You mentioned the line at 7. I like Milwaukee again here, and I'd like to have the majority of my salary spent on the Bucks.
Sticking with the Bucks. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning on the 6-person, showdown, 4 Bucks, 2 Suns as well. But a couple of things I see a little differently, and I mentioned this the podcast before last when we talked about this team. Yes, Giannis is a 2-time MVP, and he's one of the best players in the league, but without question, and these were my exact words, Middleton is the closer. They get the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter to win games. And guess what? He did. He won that game for them, not Giannis at all, down that fourth quarter run. And you know why that is? Giannis can't shoot foul shots. and they play way off of him, and he gets butthurt by that and fires up a stupid three. And I don't think they want him doing that down the stretch. So you'll see the ball in Middleton's hands because he's going to make the right decision and generally close the game out for them. And that moves him up my list, especially in the fact that he's so much cheaper than Giannis is. I mean, neither one's cheap, but he's definitely a savings. So, I know everybody's going to say, well, chasing the points, Middleton just had one of his better games of the season all the way around. I mean, 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Are you kidding? So I'm not even expecting that, but I still think he's a must. I really do. I think he is a must, and I think Giannis is a must. And I don't think Giannis has to be in the captain spot. But for me, I want those two guys from Milwaukee, end of conversation, because there's a couple of reasons why I feel that strong. Let me ask you this question. You're not going to believe this one. Made field goals, not attempted. Who would you think had more made field goals? Bobby Portis or a combination of PJ Tucker, Brook Lopez, and Drew Holiday, 3 starters making $500 million?
Yeah, well, normally 19 times out of 20, it would be the group of 3, but I'll have to say it was Portis in the last one.
It was 7-7 when you put those 3 together. So the guy plays 16 minutes, 31 seconds. The 3 that I mentioned played 41-45, 24-47, and 33-42. Now, that is a crazy stat right there. So here's my thing. Tucker, I get it. Big minutes, you got to have a cheap guy. He did get 8 rebounds, so he can always be a last guy in. If he could just scratch together enough to stay alive for you. Brook Lopez has just consistently proven that his minutes are shakier, and he's just not as effective. This is not a good matchup for him. So it's hard to stick with him because he's not even rebounding the ball well. And I mean, you at least would think he would do that. And you expect him to, get 3-4 blocks and then you're okay. But he's had 0. This game he had 1. So he's down my list. And, it comes time now through these playoffs that we sort of have to say, listen, Drew Holiday is not playing very well. He has not shot the ball well. Here's another 18% shooting performance. And he's just not getting it done there. He's not making his threes. And only way you survive with Holiday is if he has a really exponentially strong 12 assist game like he did here and mixes in a bunch of stocks. But that's not his normal numbers. He's usually even a little more dependent on the scoring with those in action, and his price is high. So I'm not going there. And, we've talked about Bobby Portis since the very first playoff game. We were just stunned that he didn't get in some of the games, only got in for 3-4 minutes. And, even this last game, we're sort of worried that he wouldn't get much time because, or how effective would he be, because it was on the road. And, he's an emotion guy, and they're chanting Bobby in Milwaukee, and he's just going to go nuts out there and do well. But he did it in Atlanta the same way. So he rises to the occasion, and, his price is still good. I don't know how Bud, can look in the mirror as a coach and not give this kid 20 minutes a game. It's not that much. I mean, he does, like you said, he's not like they have defensive efficiency when he's out there or inefficiency with scoring the ball because he can shoot the 3 and penetrate, or rebounding. I mean, I don't see what the problem is getting him more time out there. He's more effective than Connaughton off the bench. He's more effective, than Tucker by a mile, except defensively, obviously, Tucker's better. But I mean, the bottom line is I've got to roll with Portis here as well. I think it's just too good of a value. So it's easy for me, Andrew. I won't waste a lot of time here. I feel really good about Giannis, Middleton, and Portis. Now, 3-2 builds on the sites that are 5, I'm all set. The 4-2 builds where I was looking to do with Milwaukee is where it gets tough. Do I put a cheaper guy in like Tucker or Connaughton? Those two guys have a chance to make my value work and make my salary work on the 6-person slate. So those are the two guys that have only ones that have any chance for me on the Milwaukee side. So that's how I see it there. Do you want to comment on Milwaukee at all, or does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'll just want to clarify on DraftKings. I don't think you need to put Giannis as the captain. I think Middleton is a better choice there because he's that much cheaper.
Right.
On FanDuel, I like Giannis to outscore Middleton if you're going to play them both. Yeah.
And Yahoo, because you're not penalized by salary.
Right. And then
go ahead.
With Drew, I mean, he really did struggle shooting wise. Game 1, he was awesome, if you remember that.
Yeah, he had it, but throughout the playoffs, his numbers are bad.
Yeah, he was not good against Brooklyn. I think he'll bounce back. He'll definitely shoot better than 2 for 11. So I think he'll get a bit of a bounce back spot. Middleton is their best scorer. Give him the ball, and like you said, I think they will go that route again. If it's close in the fourth quarter, he'll be the closer. He's just way more efficient and just terrific on threes. So I'm with you there. But Middleton, Drew. I do think Drew Holiday will bounce back tonight and shoot better.
I think he'll shoot a little better, but is he going to have 4 stocks and 12 assists and all the other stuff?
Right.
That's the concern.
Yep.
He makes 3 more shots, but he loses some of those other ancillary numbers, and he's expensive.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Right.
But it's tough. I love Drew Holiday as a player. He's a great defender and everything, but just, he's buried a lot of lineups throughout these playoffs because, I've even used him as captain before, and he just, one of those 3 for 15 shooting nights, and you're dusted. So, all right. Before we switch over to the Atlanta Hawks, real quickly, great time to get involved with us here at DFS Coach Talk. Just go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. We also have a 2-month NBA playoff offer, and even though the playoffs will end, you still get the 2 full months. That's $111, so it's a great deal. Big reduction off our normal monthly costs.
And you get all the sports for that.
Get all the sports,
not just
even
basketball.
Right, it's called the basketball, but it's in honor of the basketball side. But you get all our baseball, golf, everything we put out there. And if you sign up today, it's June 29th. You're in there till August 29th. So you get the full 2 months, all that baseball and everything, and PGA and everything else going on. The last thing I'll mention is you see scrolling on the bottom. If you sign up, you want to bet on some games, you're looking for a good, reliable book, and I think they're the best in the business. I've been with them for 15 and a half years, and that's betus.com.pa. If you go there and use the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, no space, and deposit $149, you get to use that whole $149 to bet on whatever game, sport, anything you want. And guess what? You get a free 2-month membership with DFS Coach Talk. So once you sign up there, just shoot us a tweet. We're at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter, and we will get you in there for your free 2-month. And then hopefully you take a bunch down at BetUS. If you want to send a message directly to Andrew on Twitter, he's at Language Olympic. And this time I remember my own Twitter. It's at Joe Sarvadi, a tough one.
Nailed it.
JoeSarvadi. And last thing here, and then we'll jump right on the Hawks. Very important for us. This is our one ask per podcast we do in front of the paywall, 7-day-a-week NBA podcast. If you're on YouTube, quick thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We're very close to an important goal. We really, really appreciate that. And while you're at it, hit the little alarm alert button in the top corner. That will let you know when any of our podcasts post. And we're the place to go. Now, yes, basketball's slowing down a little bit. We're going to even have a few off days as we get into the finals. But stick with us. We're going to be going into MLB podcasts. We'll still have our weekly PGA podcast. And then Andrew and company will get into the NFL podcasts right before the season. So we're your one-stop shop. Last thing I'll say, too, the thing we're most excited about a couple weeks ago, we brought on John Wehausen. He is our director of analytics. We're putting together and beta testing now some really cool stuff where we're going to create and be able to tweak our own projections, our own ownership, so that you'll be able to come to DFS Coach Talk, and whether you're a one lineup builder that plays mainly cash and single entry like me, or you play multiple lineups or mass entries. I know certainly Andrew does some of that, and some of our members, then you'll have all the access to everything that you need there. So we're very excited. This is a great time to jump on, and we really take care of our members as well. We have a weekly meeting where we just go through everything. In fact, today we had some questions, Andrew, about really contest selection.
Right.
People are having trouble figuring out exactly what to get in. So we're going to do some sample ones. I know you put some information up there that was awesome. I'm going to follow up with some today. So the bottom line is you're not just getting a provider, you're joining a family, a community that's, we have each other's back, and we're just trying to take down all the DFS that we can. So that is it, my friend. Did you have anything to add, or do you want me to jump into the Hawks?
No, great stuff. Yeah, with the Hawks, let me know, are you also looking at this and projecting it as if Trae will play full minutes?
Yes, I think Trae, based on the information we got this morning, the stuff that we saw on the beat writer, a few players' comments, as you mentioned, Okongwu and different ones. I mean, they have to win this game. I mean, they're down 2-1. They have to go back to Milwaukee down 3-1. I just think it's over. So he knows he has to play. But here's what I have to ask you, Andrew. After he had that unfortunate ankle twist, his statistics and what he did on the floor was awful.
Yep.
So I do think he has the courage to get out there and do it. And I always say, the dude weighs like 160 soaking wet. So it's not like he's a big, huge guy that has to pound on his ankle. So I think he gets out there and tries. But the question I have, and I'd love to get your opinion on it before I break this game down, do you downgrade him because of, let's just say he plays his 40 minutes like he's been playing. Do you still downgrade him because of the possible, ability to not produce like he normally does because that's bothering him?
I do. This guy, we've talked about him. The thing that sets him apart is his quickness, his agility, and beating guys like Drew Holiday into the paint. It's because he has ultra quickness, shiftiness, and he's crafty.
Right.
And so if he's not at 100%, it just trickles down. He's going to get less trips into the paint. He's going to have less separation. Everything's going to be a little bit slower on the step back. So I think he's going to give it a go, play big minutes, but I do downgrade his performance.
I'm with you. And, here's the thing that I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it comes out he's playing with no restrictions, because I think I'm going to fade Trae Young today. And I'm going to fade him for the reason that I don't think that, even though he's a smaller guy and can go out there and give it a run, you hit the nail on the head, man. If he can't beat people off the dribble and shoot that little floater in the paint, which is one of the most deadly shots in the game, then that means they're going to come out further and pressure him more on the three. So now he loses that step or half a step to get to the basket for the floater, and his threes become more contested. And if you watch Trae Young, when he's struggling, all of a sudden it drifts into the rest of his game. He starts turning it over. He doesn't play as good defensively. He's just such an emotion guy that I'm just super concerned at that huge price, that where he was getting 30 some shots, that goes into 17, 16 shots, and they're more contested. So I'm going to spend my money and try to not have to go down to the guys coming off the bench and go with the Herters, the Collins, the Capellas, and even the Gallinaris. Now, my second question is, I wanted to reach through the screen and smack him in the back of the head is our man Bogdanovich. 3 for 16 again. 2 for 10 from 3. And guess what? I counted at least 5 of those where there wasn't anybody within shouting distance of him. So what is going on there? Is it his knee?
Well, that's obviously what he's been building back from and trying to overcome. But I like a couple things here with Bogdanovich. 3 steals, 3 steals and 1 block.
Right.
That tells me a lot that he's got the confidence to be more aggressive defensively. And the fact that he took 16 shots, he only went 2 for 10 on threes, but he's playable for me tonight because of his price and because I like the trend. And, this is the time, if you're going to play him, to jump on the, okay, he's getting healthier every game. We're seeing that he's finally getting bigger shots. He got bigger minutes, 35 minutes instead of like 23, 24.
Right.
So this is the time, if you think he can perform a little bit better, and if there's trouble with Trae, he should have even more opportunities.
I think that's a very valid point. And I mean, that's the one guy that the jury's still out for me because like I said on the last podcast, I said I was afraid to play him because shooters that create their own shot like that and move without the ball so well, they depend on all of that. So if that knee's slowing him down even a half a step, it's going to take all his rhythm away. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, you don't see him. He's too great of a shooter to go 3 for 16 and 2 for 10 from 3. But, so do you weigh that or do you weigh the fact of exactly what you said? Trae's not going to get as many attempts and they need somebody to score the ball and he's their next guy up as far as shooting the basketball. So, I've got to think he improves on his shooting, but I'll tell you, man, he did not look like he had any kind of groove whatsoever. So that's the big decision I have to make. His price did drop, so he's very playable. But I sort of like these guys. If Atlanta's going to stick in this game, the 3 guys I really like are Herter, Collins, and Gallinari because of pricing. Capella, he hasn't been thrilling in this deal. They're getting good minutes from Okongwu off the bench, and he's been effective. And it just, Capella's probably going to get you a double-double. I mean, he's been doing that. But, this last game, 8 points, 11 rebounds, I don't know if that's enough in 27 minutes for his salary. So, the strong build for me with Giannis and Middleton on the other side, and then mixing it in with these Atlanta guys. And by not playing Trae, you can get your combination of 2 or 3 guys of the Herter, Collins, Gallinari, Bogdanovich, basically out of that group. Not interested in Solomon Hill or Lou Williams. Again, by fading, for me, it looks like I'm going to fade Trae Young and Drew Holiday. That's not easy to do, and they could be in the optimal lineups very easily. But you got to make some decisions because if you try to force those guys in, now you're scratching and digging, for Connaughtons and Williams and these guys, which have, can easily let you down, and their ceiling is still limited. So that's my theory going in. I just need to get a little more confidence in the bogey call rather than a Capella. It's probably between those 2 for me for a definite key spot.
Yeah, I think your approach makes a lot of sense. I think I'm planning to fade Trae Young mostly tonight as well and get more exposure to this Atlanta offense with these wings who are cheaper, either Herter or Bogdanovich. And, I think if I could only play one, it would be Herter. He is a little more well-rounded and more involved. He also had 3 blocks last game, no turnovers. I don't
7 assists, no turnovers, 3 blocks. And he handled the ball a lot. That was impressive.
I don't think we'll see 7 assists, 3 blocks, and no turnovers again, unless Trae goes down, and then he'll have a chance to have a high assist total again. He could get the 7 assists, but you don't count on 3 blocks or no turnovers, but just shows you he's got that versatility. We've talked about his length defensively, and he can get a couple steals easily. Yeah. So I like Herter, but he's more expensive than Bogdanovich on both sites. So it's a weighing it out.
How that's factor. Changed, huh?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right. Remember that day Bogdanovich was like, what was he like? 10,000
it's
on DraftKings
completely
and like
ridiculous.
5,000 on FanDuel.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He was pressing Bradley Beal's price.
right.
That was hilarious.
So there's the idea there, and then Collins and Capella. Yeah, they've both been a little bit underwhelming, but Collins was in foul trouble last game. Remember, he got 5 fouls
Yeah, he did.
and only ended with 23 minutes. And you
He
saw
sat
him,
a lot.
he sat a
Yeah,
lot in the second half, got that 4th foul early in the third quarter. So you figure, he learns from that and is smarter and stays out of foul trouble so he can stay in the game. So I think he's got a chance to have more of a John Collins game. And then, yeah, Gallinari, certainly the best, safest option off the bench. He got those 36 minutes again. Remember, he got a few extra because of the Collins foul trouble. So I don't think he'll get 36 minutes, but, he's their reliable big scorer off the bench. Has been a little scoring dependent, but he's cheaper than these other guys. So certainly in play for me. And then Okongwu, he's been very efficient, but he just can't get more than about 10 minutes, and he's very, very cheap. So if you want to get one more stud in there, you could add him as a punt play. And you never know, he could get more like 14, 16 minutes the way he's looked.
yeah.
And then Lou Williams, has been pretty low volume, low usage here throughout the playoffs. Not like the old days with the Clippers. Again, if something happens to Trae Young, he'll get a nice boost, but not my favorite play in this game.
I'm with you. I bet you a lot of people take a crack at Lou Williams thinking Trey's going to either, go out of the game or be limited. But I don't know that Lou's just going to, he takes over the point like a campaign did for the Clippers. I think Herter handles it a lot. Bogdanovich handles it a lot. I mean, all those guys can play point basically. And even Gallinari plays some point forward at times. So, I'm not sold on the Lou Williams piece either.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. He's not campaign at this stage on this team with those other options. I think he would get some more minutes, but he wouldn't just turn around and smash like campaign has as the starter.
Exactly. Well, excellent, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
This is going to be exciting tonight. I mean, we're getting some great games, some unexpected games, and some extended runs here. Now it'll be interesting tonight, because we're going to have certainly a game 5 in this series, and now we have a game 6 in the other series. So this has been a fun playoffs. You're not seeing those blowout sweeps and teams winning and unexpectedly. It's been a really fun playoffs.
It has. Every night's been different and entertaining. So let's hope it continues tonight, and we got to enjoy it as much as we can here before we run out of games. So hope that helped everybody get started on their builds tonight. If you want to jump in with us tonight, we'll give out our lineups about 20 minutes before tip. 8:30 Eastern is the tip. So get in by like 6 o'clock today if you want to join, so you get the baseball lineups tonight. We'll have 2 baseball slates tonight, and then basketball. So dfscoachtalk.com if you want to sign up. We'll send you an email to get you into our Discord where we give out the lineups, and DFS Coach Talk on Twitter if you have any questions. On behalf of the coach and the rest of the DFS Coach Talk team, I'm Andrew Hansen. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we look to crush it in DFS.